Hi there, I'm Dark Shades and I broadcast out of the UK. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to have I just came up with an idea actually. If it's the first time you're passing through, you can put the thumbs up and you can put the thumbs down, and thank you all for subscribing and sharing. Now, we're now getting used to the Zoom parties as opposed to the physical parties. And I was thinking to myself, I've watched a couple of them and people look so, some of them look kind of happy, but a lot of people look so kind of bored, and it's almost like they're really trying to make an effort to enjoy themselves. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that there seems to be a lack of motivation with the Zoom party. So I'm going to give you some tips that I hope will work, because when you think about it, when we're thinking about how we used to rave, especially like you hear a Gregory Isaacs, or you hear Mighty Diamonds, or you hear a Taurus Riley, and it makes you so nostalgic and you're just thinking, oh boy, I really feel like a rave. And then ordinarily, if you were raving, you'd be calling your friends and say, what you wearing? How are you going to do your hair? What shoes you're going to wear? Which bag you're going to get? Oh, I'm going to go out and get a bag to match my dress. And, I'm going to go and do my nails. I'm going to go and have a pedicure. I'm going to have my hair done. I'm going to get my eyelashes done. And you'd have all this dialogue going on, especially with women. Men, I guess they kind of know what they're going to wear. They don't need to tell their mates what they're going to wear. But everybody wants to look good and smell sweet for a rave. So what happens with a Zoom rave? The kind of momentum you get from a physical rave kind of fizzles out with a Zoom rave, but you mustn't let it. I'll tell you why. Because you can create the same vibe. Well, I think that organisers should actually make sure that they invite, single men and single women. I mean, if they want to charge a fiver to go to the dance, I mean, not like one sound system. They were charging 15 quid for a virtual Zoom party. Can you imagine 15 quid? They've got no overheads, and you're just going to be watching a TV screen. Why would you want to pay 15 quid? But if there was some kind of incentive, like I don't know, like some, not like a dating app, but something like a dating situation in a Zoom party, it would make it more exciting, wouldn't it? Well, I think it would. If you know that you've got potential single men coming to the party and potential single women coming to the party, I think it would add a little bit of zoop. People would get a bit more excited about going. They would make more of an effort. They'd probably call their friends like they used to. I mean, okay, they're not going to go and pick them up. They don't have to worry about petrol. They don't have to worry about, well, they'll probably buy themselves a bottle of drink to have in the house or whatever. But they don't have to worry about leaving their house. And yet they could have that excitement. So what I'm thinking is that how you can actually prepare. Just in case, I know Lovers Rock Radio has started a dating app. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but they have Zoom parties, and I'm not quite sure if that is where they're going. But I think it is the way to go for Zoom parties, because when you think about how the single people that went to dance parties, the raves, went there ideally to meet someone, the majority of us. We didn't just go there to stand up and look at each other's faces, even though that's what sometimes we did. We'd either admire someone, what they're wearing, admire their shoes, admire their hairstyles. You go up and say, oh, where did you get that from? Oh, it's really nice, I really like it. Or you'd look at another person and say, oh, that thing fit too tight, or you see the bulges, and you don't have all that dialogue. I mean, you might have it from the comfort of your home, but it's not the same. You don't get the same vibe as when you're chatting to your mates and just making light of everything that's going on. So, how do we create that kind of energy in the house, in the home, while you're on Zoom? Okay, I'm going to tell you how you do it. You don't have to be too technical savvy, but the first thing you need to do, I don't think I need my notes. I'll just double check it afterwards. The first thing you need to do is when you go on Zoom, before the actual event starts, you go on and it gives you the option. There's three little dots. I'm not quite sure where they are. I think they're at the top, or they might be on the bar in the middle. Because I use Microsoft Teams and I use Zoom, I kind of forget where the dots are. But anyway, it gives you the option to change your background. And so you can actually change your background if you don't want people to see where, because sometimes your home is your personal space, isn't it? And even when I'm in the office and I'm on Microsoft Teams, I actually blur my background out so they can't see my personal space. So you can kind of blur out, or you can give yourself a seaside or whatever. But you can choose that option before you actually go into Zoom. And, before you actually attend the event, just acquaint yourself with some of the what do you call it? Well, some of the things that make it work. I can't even think of the proper technical word now. But, just familiarize yourself with Zoom. Just click on the down button, see what they've got. They have something about audio, they have something about images, they have some, where you can switch the video on, you can switch the video off. I would really go in with my proper name. I would go with my proper name because I think it's important that when you go in, I know if you go to a physical party, you can tell people a different name. I think it's a bit different with Zoom because you're more likely to get a lot of people. And you know why I say that? Because of the chat function. And I would like to think that you can go on Zoom, you click on the gallery, that's with the little 4 squares, and you can actually see everybody who's at the party. And you can kind of look to see if they're on their own, if they're with someone, and they should have their names. That's why I'm saying it's good to use your proper name. Should have their names next to their image, unless they've come in as a guest or incognito, which there's nothing you can do if they come in as a guest. But if they have got their names, all you've got to do is you click on the chat and you scroll down and you look for their name, and then you click on it and you say hi. And you say, oh, I like the way you look. Are you seeing anyone? I wouldn't mind chatting with you. And you might be able to get a dialogue. Thing is, with that kind of thing is, if people can't write or people can't spell, they're not going to be able to use that. So this is the way to kind of siphon out people who, you may not be compatible with. But, I kind of get away from people who just say hi, or who say, what's up, or these people who write these little acronyms, these couple of letters or whatever they do. That really drives me batty. What am I supposed to say to hi? You know what I mean? But anyway, I kind of stay away from anybody who tries to contact me with monosyllabic words. But what I'm saying for you, it might not bother you. You might be okay with that. A hi just might mean they just want to trigger to see if they're going to get a response. It might not mean anything more than that. I probably prefer someone, personally, to say, oh, hi, how you doing? Or, a few little words, or why are you contacting me? Because, I'm not on a dating site, and I'm not kind of, when I'm doing my videos, I'm not inviting anybody to chat me up. So I'm not expecting somebody to say hi. You know what I mean? I'd expect somebody to say, look, there's something I would like you to talk about. And could you talk about this, or could you talk about that? Then I'd understand and I can respond. But if somebody just puts hi, that doesn't mean anything to me. So when you go into that Zoom arena, you have to kind of think about the type of person you want to see, the type of person you want to hear from. You have some kind of idea about how you want them to respond to you. And you can actually create a kind of a dance vibe. Okay, so you can't rub up against a wall. There's not, certain things you're going to have to compromise with. But at least you can establish friendships and possibly relationships down the line. It might take longer to get off the ground, but at least you don't feel as though you're not wasting your time. You've got the energy, you've made yourself look good. I mean, you might even put on a little bit of perfume. He can't smell it from where he is, but it makes you feel good. And this, of course, isn't for people who feel insecure, or if you lack confidence. It's going to be difficult for people who are like that, or people who've been hurt. But if you feel as though you've got the gumption, and it's just that you just didn't think about it, then this might be a good idea for you, because it's not something that you would kind of automatically think of. Because I know when I went to a Zoom party, it didn't occur to me to go on the gallery and look to see if there was anybody there that I might think, oh, he's tasty. This is before my Feles days, of course. But it never occurred to me to do that. I don't even know why it occurred to me this evening, but it did. But I just thought to myself, it would kind of bring back the vibe. You've got the music, you've got someone to talk to, hopefully, and you can create some kind of dance vibe. The only thing that's lacking is the fact that you can't dance together. And in the private chat, I don't even know if you can see each other, but at least you can get some kind of conversation going. Hopefully with somebody who's single and not somebody who's playing around. So, I think, and you can actually have this fun with your mates, because you can actually say to your mates, look at what's his name? What do you think of him? Or what about, if it's a guy, you can say to your mates, oh, what do you think of her? And not that you're looking for their approval or endorsement, but it's just a way of engaging and making the evening much more exciting, instead of just sitting there, some of them with a drink. The other day somebody was knitting, another one somebody had fallen asleep. I mean, it's not a good advert for Zoom parties, is it? I mean, you can't forget where you are. Mind you, having said that, I've been to Apollo and people have been bloody sitting occupying the seats and falling asleep. Why the hell are they there? And you get people that do that. They sit there all night looking bloody miserable. And the drink is on the table and they're there glaring at everybody, and then they're dozing off every 5 minutes. And then you kind of think, why didn't they stay at home? And it's the same with the Zoom parties. You have to have the energy, because people are looking for people who have energy and who look exciting and who look interesting to get to know. So don't let the Zoom kind of, just because you can't see people in person, don't let it kind of demotivate you. I would still get dressed. It's like when I do my videos. I mean, I don't get an opportunity to go out now, do I? I mean, I go up to the shop and that's it. So this is my going out. I pretend I'm going out. I pretend, I'm on a date. I pretend that I'm going to go meet my mates. You're my mates. You're my friends. You're my subscribers. So I dress up. I'm coming out to meet you. But it's that kind of vibe. And that's the kind of vibe you want to create. So to keep you interested, to keep you alive, to keep you motivated. I think that is all. So you're on your own. I've left you to it. All you've got to do is acquaint yourself. Very easy tips. 1, 2, 3. 1, get savvy with your computer. Number 2, get dressed, pretend you're going out, physically going out, and do all of those things that you would have done with your mates if you were physically going out. And then you go on your computer at the specific time. I wouldn't go there too early. If it says it starts at 8, get on there at 10. People will be there. Then it's just like you're in a real party, because normally the men would be scouting around this circle. Like how the men do. They go on the outskirts like lions, and then they slowly work their way in. Because when they go on the outside, it's really to see whether or not you have a man. And so slowly they go round and round and round. And then sometimes it's 3/4 through the night that they come over and talk to you, and then they say, "Why am I watching you now? I watch you for a night. You look good. You're there with anybody?" That time they've been there checking and know you're not with anyone. When nobody's come and approached you, they said, "Why you look nice and all. I'm afraid to come talk to you because we think so you have your man." And you're like, "No, no, I don't have my man. I don't have my man." Why, I like, you want to dance. You want to dance. Let's dance now. And then you just get into that vibe. But you can't do that on Zoom. But what you can do, you can kind of mimic it. So the men will be still scouting, but it's almost like you're giving them permission now to engage. Instead of it just being a flat platform, people just looking at each other, some people standing up dancing against the wall, some people just sitting there with their drink. Do something. Engage, interact. That's all I'm saying. So you can make it something to look forward to. Now, I hope this makes sense. I hope it's feasible and realistic. And I hope you'll take advantage of it. Just look out for all the Zoom parties that are going on and see if it works in reality. I haven't tried it. I can't try it really. I mean, I could have a look, but I don't think my fella would be too happy if I start going scouting for fellas on Zoom parties. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye bye.